That's definitely a stake in the heart. So I think that's why with Athelstan, it's chosen love and a trust there.
Of course, because he's a wounded man, isn't he? Because when your character rides off, Katheryn, I don't think he's unscathed. He's lost something. Definitely, you can see that.
I think maybe he doesn't expect it, and then when Lagertha presents him with that, I think it's
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Choosing to leave. In her mind, she felt she had no choice because her sense of it would she had to do for herself. He humiliated her in front of everyone, and she had no choice, even though in his ideal world he can have both women.
Yeah.
She's too much dignity and too much will to be able to put up with that. And I think it does hurt him. It's interesting. You see their relationship where there's a lot still unsaid. Hopefully maybe in season 3 we'll still dive into it in terms of their past.
Because it's interesting, isn't it? Because I don't think the love is gone, or the loyalty is definitely not gone, even though, like you say, she has no choice but to ride away like that.
It changes. Their relationship changes. But I think the love and the history, just like we all have exes or people that have been in our lives for a long time, you will always love them, a part of you will, no matter what. And she comes back. I don't know how much I can say. I'm not going to say anything, actually. It's better not to.
Okay, and I mean, coming up for your character, you're going to raid now with the guys. There's going to be divided loyalties there, isn't there?
Certainly are, yeah. I hope in the way that we developed Athelstan's character into him joining the raids and going west with the Vikings, I hope that, we have shown that effectively, and the real conflict that it causes in his own self when he lands in England again for the first time, but as someone who is completely changed, completely different. I think it was really interesting to shoot. There's I can't spoil it, but it's definitely, and when your writer, when Michael adds those kind of layers into your character, it sort of makes your job so easy. If you're going in to shoot a scene, that you have all of this detailed kind of subtext and subplot that's going on with your character, just simply entering a room that has so much meaning to you because of what the writer has given you before. It's very easy to fill moments with a lot of meaning.
Season 2 is going to be all the different characters have their own journey, and they're all in a very different place than they were in season 1. Everybody kind of has their own rock bottom, I think they hit, and for each character in a way.
Yeah.
So Lagertha definitely hits rock bottom, and probably the lowest that I could imagine her hitting. And you thought from the end of season 1, she had to deal with the plague and dealing with a miscarriage and dealing with Gita's death, and now dealing with a new life. And there's still another layer. So that's exciting.
Of course. It's a very dangerous world your characters live in, isn't it? Where everything's about survival. I was wondering how you, Katheryn and George, think you might survive in such a world, or...
Wow. In other words, if we were just thrown
right now
in Kattegat, would we be able to make it? I hope so.
I would cling to this one like my life depended on it.
You could definitely protect and help, right?
Training,
as long as you cook.
Yeah.
You can cook.
I'd cook, you protect me. Yeah.
That's a good partnership.
Yeah.
What kind of 21st century comforts do you think you might miss? What's the thing you would miss the most?
Oh, goodness.
Gosh, the iPhone.
Yeah.
What would I miss?
I was gonna say like being clean and showering but
they were actually very
yeah.
clean people. They were
A lot of
their
sort of-
hygiene was very top notch at this. You'd be surprised.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess the luxury of entertainment instead of storytelling, we have visually movies and stuff like that, is always a part that I can't imagine living without. It's a very tough question.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be able to travel, get on a plane and try and go to different cities and countries.
They did that. They went all over the world. They did everything.
They did, but
They're
it took
people.
them forever just to travel. I don't know.
They invented the internet, right?
Invented everything.
Yeah.
We've got time for one more, Dave.
Okay. Just for fun, I mean, there's two great shows, two epic shows coming out of Ireland at the moment. There's Game of Thrones and Vikings, and I was wondering who you think might win that battle if Ragnar and his crew.
Vikings, of course. That's not even a question. Give me a hard one.
Yeah.
We got the axes. We got the swords. We got
Yeah, long
the
hair.
army.
No, I guess they have dragons and magic and fantasy, but you know, we've got shield maidens. So
You don't have to sail that far either. I mean, Ragnar, it's Wicklow to Belfast.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm a big fan
We
of Game of
should,
Thrones. I
shouldn't we?
love Game of Thrones, but it's nice. I don't know. They're up in Belfast. We're shooting in Dublin. A couple times I've bumped into some
Yeah.
of the other actors, but it's like we're our own identity, you know, even though it's 2.5 hours away.
Yeah. We should definitely do that combined
should
behind the
do that.
scenes. Just get all the cast from both shows to meet halfway between Belfast and
We
Dublin.
should.
And
You gonna organize that this
yeah,
year?
massive battle in a field with axes and swords, and
That'll be one.
No dragons.
totally have them. Be a Love Film exclusive, that behind the scenes,
There you
Game
go.
of Thrones. There you go.
Are we done or
If you got one more, you've got time for one more.
one more? Yeah, just to talk about Ragnar a bit more. I mean, we've seen him change towards the latter end of season 1, and I think. Do you think he's been corrupted by his fame and kind of power to then?
That is a Travis Fimmel question. I'm not gonna answer for that. I think that I don't know. I don't feel comfortable answering that. You can answer
No.
if you want.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, Michael, he really loves making all of the characters move forward, you know, in their development. So I think, obviously, what Ragnar goes through in season 1 and the overthrow of Earl Haraldsson, it can only change him. You know, it can only suddenly having the power of being Earl in season 1 and getting to a place at the end of season 1 where, you know, he's preparing to raid West again, and I'm sure it would change him. But yeah, like Katheryn says, God knows what goes on inside Ragnar's head. Only Travis Fimmel knows that.
Oh, excellent! That's brilliant.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you.